iHeart Podcast. Guaranteed human.
Day or night, VerboCare is here 24/7 to help make every part of your stay seamless. If anything comes up, or you simply need a little guidance, support is ready whenever you reach out. From the moment you book to the moment you head home, we're here to help things run smoothly. Because a great trip starts with the right support. And hey, a good playlist doesn't hurt either.
Please welcome aboard the Johnson family.
The whole fam's here for the Disney cruise, so you know we came to play. And listen, the adults are gonna have a ball. First, we're chilling in the infinity pool. On to massages at Senses Spa. Then gliding into Star Wars Hyperspace Lounge for a toast. We're even gonna kick back with Mickey on Disney's private island. That's how we get down, because Disney Cruise Line is where we came to play.
This stress check, aka friendly have fun reminder, is brought to you by State Farm, because you deserve to decompress and protect your peace. For me, it's painting my tabletop miniatures. I know, random, but it works. Big stress, mini warriors, total reset. It helps me clear my head, slow down, and just breathe. Mental health matters, and hobbies help. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
There's a fire inside you can't ignore. Stand still? Not a chance. You're a lifelong learner who's come this far. Now, we're here to help you keep going further. Capella University. What can't you do? Visit capella.edu to learn more.
All right, guys, here we are. Last break of the day on this Friday. It's been a good day. It's been a good week. It's been a fun week. Thank you guys for listening, as always.
We headed to Black History, baby. That's what we headed.
Yeah. Junior, you got a question for Steve before we get out of here?
Yeah, Unc. You call me the comeback kid, Unc. And I appreciate that. But you know what, Unc? It's just not me. Everybody has a comeback, Unc. And I think we don't understand the process of coming back. I know for me what it's for. Coming back from sickle cell crisis to sickle cell crisis. But what about in just your personal life? Coming back.
Well, for me, coming back is living proof that God is still in your life, that God is still ever present. Every time I come back, it's a reminder that he got me. Every time I fall and get back up, every time I've laid in it too long, every time I've recovered from anything, every time I watch other people recover, it just lets me know that God still cares. I mean, look, man, if you come back from anything, like, when you lose a loved one and you're grieving and it feels like it's the end of the world for you, somehow you survived that. You don't think that was God? I do. Every time you break up with somebody and your heart is broken and you feel like your life is in shambles and in pieces and you can't believe you got done that way or deceived that way, or you can't believe it's over, or it happened real suddenly, or you didn't see it coming, but you survive it, you don't think that was God? I do. Ever had a TV show canceled? Ever had 2 of them canceled? Ever had your whole TV career canceled at one time? And somehow came back and got some more? You don't think that was God? I do. When you lose everything you have for whatever the reason, you lost a job, you lost a contract, you lost somebody, and you end up losing all of your worldly possessions, your money and everything.
What you up to?
And now look at you now, you're back on your feet. You don't think that was God? I do.
Absolutely.
And you know why I keep using examples like that? I keep saying I do. Because when I can't explain something that's happening in my life that all of a sudden starts going right and I can't explain it,
please
that's usually God.
Share the video if you don't mind.
Because sometimes some things happen to you can't even take credit for.
Not at all.
Because he don't want you to. See, sometimes God wants you to realize that it's really him that you need. So what he'll do is, I'm finna talk about myself now. Here we go. Sometimes God will let so many people disappoint you. Back to back to back to back. So many people position you to thinking that they gonna give you the answer and the solution and the deal gonna go down and the contract gonna get signed, and you actually think it's them. He will make all of it go away. And then bring it about. Because then you know it's him. Sometimes, and here's what I love about God. God will build you up in front of the people who tried to destroy you. Boy, that's a good one right there. I'm telling y'all, boy, if you turn it over to God, he'll do it, man. He will build you up in front of the very people who tried to destroy you. The people who set out to do evil against you and perpetuate all this ill will, he will prop you up right in front of them. You ain't got to go, nah. I told you. They see it.
Amen.
They see it. You ain't got to call them up and, hey, did you read about it? You ain't got to say, hey. Did you see what got posted now? You ain't got to do none of that. They see it. They sick to their stomach. They see it.
Amen.
Man, God is so present in your life on every comeback, every setback, every struggle, every hardship. God has been present for you because you have survived it. And I know you survived it because you're sitting there here, you listening to me. That's God, man. That's God. So as I sit here in my own life with so many decisions that's not clear, so many things I had planned that didn't go the way I planned it. As I sit here right now in that particular moment,
subscribe or follow me, please follow me.
I have proof that God got me.
Welcome, this is Conversation with Them.
Because he done got me every single time before.
TikTok.
And as late as I think he is, as many times as I thought he should have been showed up, he ain't never been late. Not one single time. You can't think of one blessing God gave you and it was too late. Name it. I was sick for 5 years before he healed me. Was it too late?
Your shirt.
Huh?
On my heart.
That's what I thought. Talk to God today, y'all. He would absolutely love to hear from you.
Absolutely.
God is behind every single comeback you've ever had. Every last one of them.
Amen.
Talk to God today. He would absolutely love to hear from you. Come back, kid. Keep doing it to him, boy. Yeah.
No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited. Participants must be legal U.S. residents at least 18 years old unless otherwise stated. For complete contest rules, visit SteveHarveyFM.com. You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
Living with idiopathic hypersomnia or IH means more than excessive daytime sleepiness. That's why it's important to find an expert, a sleep specialist. Just like you wouldn't ask a rock legend to compose a symphony.
Needs more reverb.
Or hire your landlord instead of a plumber. When it comes to IH, the right expert is a sleep specialist. Someone who understands sleep disorders and can help find a treatment plan for you. Visit findasleepspecialist.com to learn more. That's findasleepspecialist.com.
Well, the holidays have come and gone once again, but if you've forgotten to get that special someone in your life a gift, well, Mint Mobile is extending their holiday offer of half off unlimited wireless. So here's the idea. You get it now, you call it an early present for next year. What do you have to lose? Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Limited time, 50% off regular price for new customers. Upfront payment required. $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds may slow after 50 gigabytes per month when network is busy. See terms.
This podcast is supported by FX's Love Story, John F. Kennedy Jr. and Carolyn Bessette, the new limited series from executive producer Ryan Murphy. It explores the complex courtship of the iconic couple considered to be American royalty, whose love story captured the attention of the nation. Their fairy tale romance would unfold in front of the public eye, where their private love would also become a national obsession. FX's Love Story, John F. Kennedy Jr. and Carolyn Bessette. Watch now on FX, Hulu, and Hulu on Disney Plus for bundle subscribers.
Are you looking for entertainment that lifts you up? Then check out Up Faith and Family, the leading streaming service for inspiring, hope-filled shows and movies. This season, stream soul-stirring favorites like Southern Gospel, plus 4 full seasons of Jesus Calling, and the uplifting new faith series, These Stones. Or settle in with 19 seasons of the beloved family series Heartland, a family favorite ranch drama fans can't get enough of. It's commercial-free. Stream anywhere. Get a free trial today. Go to upfaithandfamily.com/iHeart.
Follow my YouTube channel.
This is an iHeart podcast. Guaranteed human.
Follow it. Subscribe to it. Follow, get more content. Get to know me. Let me tell my story of what I've been through, how you can get through what you're going through. That's what this is all about. This is not about no fame. This is about me literally sharing my life story. And as you can see, I just played a message from Steve Harvey, that me sending a message, just sharing my experiences in my life and him responding, you know what I mean? And I didn't even, great thing about it, I didn't even listen to it that morning. You know what I mean? I got other things going on, and when I heard it, my homegirl, she sent me a message like, hey, yo, I think Steve Harvey was talking about you, and basically responding to the video I mentioned about him. You know what I mean? So that was it. I checked it out, and like I said, building that conversation with God is so important. You know what I mean? It's so important to build that conversation and that relationship with God, because like they say, I don't read the Bible every day. I don't know scriptures like that, but I will say that one of the things that I've learned is that man will let you down. Mankind will let you down. People will let you down. And when you're with God and he's showing you the way, you can't lose. You see the shirt. God knows my heart. God knows my heart. So if God knows your heart, you can't lose. You can't lose. You know what I mean? And you move with that. You move with intentions. With intention. You know what I mean? With positive love and just gratitude every day you wake up. You know what I mean? Let me show you something. Thank you everybody for tapping in. Look, check it out. I'm reading this book right now. I got a bunch of different books that I read, but this book right here is so powerful, and tap in with me as I share my journey, as I share my knowledge and things that I've learned from this book. It's so powerful. It's called The Power of You, right? The Power of You. Let me show you that again. It's called The Power. Oh, excuse me. Ooh, I got cameras everywhere. With The Power in You, right? So when you, oh my goodness, if you can find this, check your app bookstore. You might be able to find it. But when I tell you, it's so dope to just tap into your general sources of God, of who God is. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't be here. Like, you wouldn't know who I am. I wouldn't even be on this podcast. Like, camera, like, all this. Because it was a message on my heart to be like, yo, tell your truth. Tell your truth. Let people know how you made it out of the struggle of just day to day and just where I came from. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm doing this. That's why I'm on this podcast. You know what I mean? This is not, like I said, this ain't for no fame. Like, I just want to just share my story. Like, I feel spiritually rich every day I wake up. I got a wife. I got a daughter. You know what I mean? I got a house. I'm retired military, medically separated from the military, right? So with all that and having a family and to be where I'm at, knowing where I came from, I can't even tell you how humble and grateful I am. You know what I mean? Like being from poverty in a sense, right? Not from the dirt, but being in the system, being adopted and being in foster care. And going through the emotions of not knowing your biological parents and getting to know them and realizing that they're not healthy. They need guidance. They need love that you can't give them. But through that, you learn the lesson of who you are, right? And God helps you through along the way. And I'm so grateful, like, for my experiences. And I'm sure any of you that experience things in your life, for you to be here right now, you can say, I've been through some hard times, but I made it out, right? So if you're feeling stuck and you feeling like I can't make it out, you can make it out. You know what I mean? You can make it out, right? And I want people to understand that when you truly give yourself and surrender yourself to something higher and greater than yourself, your blessings come. And that's real talk. Like, I ain't like all in the church. I'm not Bible reading. I'm not none of that. I'm just somebody that came from a situation of parents and individuals that created me, and I was moved around and all, you know what I mean? Been around a lot. And for me to be right here and not give up, not quit on myself, because many times I want to just give up, like, yo, if my mom and my dad and my family could give up and not love me and support me, then why the fuck would I give my love and support to myself? But with God and the love that he showed me, allowed me to give more love to myself, to be like, yo, I could do this. And you can do anything. Like, when Steve Harvey said the message to me, like, hey, look, like, it wasn't no, like, he directed it to me, but it wasn't like I was the one who asked the question. Like, it was just a night of valet parking. I used to valet park in Atlanta, Georgia. And it was a night where a lot of celebrities was coming. And, you know, a lot of celebrities, I met celebrities along the way. And it was, you know how it goes, celebrities supposed to show up, some don't show up. So this night, you know, people names floating around, we excited. So cars start coming up at the end of the night, and Steve Harvey and his wife come out. And somebody yell out, like, Steve, we love your car. I want to get this, yada, yada, yada. And Steve goes, hey, man. And he looked at me because I'm the one that opened the door. He looking at me like, hey, this ain't no magic trick. You can get this. You can get this, right? All you got to do is have a relationship with God. And he looking at me, telling me this. And he like, yo, cut the bullshit. You know what I'm talking about. And me being young in my early 20s, being in Atlanta, you know, not being from Atlanta, but being from New York and living in Atlanta, and the life that Atlanta offers and the things that go on and just the life, you like, you know, being young, you living a life, right? So it was kind of like in my ear, and it was just like, I hear you, Steve, you know what I mean? But it was just like, I was just thinking about the life in Atlanta. Like, I understand, but, you know, I'm young. I'm just like, you know, so long story short, it ended up turning into something that is stuck with me. And when he said that, it was just like, build that relationship with God, you know, cut the bullshit, and you will get what you ask. Just talk to him, build that relationship. And when I went through the things in my life, those words stuck in my head. So as they stuck in my head, I started to take heed to what he was saying. You know, a lot of us will hear things in life, and, you know, we don't really take heed to it right away. You know what I mean? We like, yeah, you know. But for some of us, it stick to us, but we don't catch on right away, but we never forget what was said. You know what I mean? And as life went on, you know what I mean? I started to just think and started to get more serious with life and get more serious with God. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of us, let's be real, we slack on that. You know what I mean? When things are going good, we think, you know, we got it all in our control and we got it locked down and we whoop-de-whoop. And the truth of the matter is, like, God is the one that's in control at the end of the day. Yeah, we got choices, but as long as we make those choices in line with what God wants, we're going to be all right. But the moment that we drift off, the moment that we try to, you know, curve and do other things, we lose sight. You know what I mean? Hey, I appreciate everybody tapping in. Hey, yo, this, like I said, it's your boy King Sam I Am. You know what I mean? And I appreciate everybody tapping in with me, man. It's a late night, but I appreciate it. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to, just branch out, be more, live with it. You know what I'm saying? Just to get people to understand where I come from, and just letting you know, hey, look, if I could do it, you could do it. And that's not no cliche for me. I went in the military. I did 8 years. And for me to do 8 years in the military, I'm like, yo, if I could do it, like, you could do it. Like, it's just that simple. And we tend to overthink everything. Like, if you anything like me, like, at least how I used to be, I used to overthink everything, overthink. And now it's just like, don't overthink, just do. Because you're gonna come to realize that when you just do it, it may feel uncomfortable, but after a while it becomes natural. And because you really want to do it, it's gonna become easy after a while. You're gonna be like, okay, I can do this. So never doubt yourself. Believe in yourself. If I don't tell you nothing else, if you don't hear nothing else tonight, just believe in yourself. Because, like I said, I wouldn't be here podcasting. I wouldn't be here YouTubing, nothing. Like, I'll be on somebody's couch. I'll probably be chilling, BSing. You know what I mean? Life would have smacked me around. I would have been, you know what I mean? Just being honest. You know what I mean? So I say that with love. Like, understand, like, you can do anything. We just have to learn how to surround ourselves around the right people and remove ourselves from the wrong people. And I can attest, like, I love family, I love friends, but after a while, when you really on a mission, when you really want to accomplish things in your life, you can't let people stop you. You know what I mean? And I love family so hard. I love my friends so hard that it was hard to like let go. You know what I'm saying? If you understand, like if you could relate, put that in the chat. It's hard to let go. Like, it's really hard to let go when people you love. You know what I mean? And when you come to a point when you realize that you suffering, holding on for something that just let go. And I have another book that I didn't finish reading, but I'm like halfway, almost, more than half. It's called Let Go. And it's a bunch of like day-to-day quotes that it teaches you how to detach from people, places, and things. You know what I mean? And I picked it up back when I was in overseas. I think it was in Poland or Germany, one of the two. And it like, I was going through a moment and I was reading it, and it felt so good at that moment, like learning how to detach, like, because we love and we feel like we control things, right? We almost feel like we got to have control over it. And if you understand how God is, he's not even like that. He don't even want to have control over you, though. Like, he just wants you to be free, but understand that everything that you do it must be intentional, what you do, right? Your love, your care, the way you do things, how you do it. Do it with intentions. So if it's good intentions, just know that it'll be a good outcome. If it don't work out, then you understand, okay, some things didn't work out, but it's not on you because you never had the bad intentions on it. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. You don't have malice intentions on it. So if you move with love and you move with care, that's going to come back to you. You know what I mean? That's going to come back to you. So I say that, like, no, when you're moving in life, when you're trying to figure things out, because we all hit our moments of what's the word? Just hitting rock bottom, right? And we get stuck. I got another book. It's called Stuck in Traffic. Do you feel stuck in traffic? Like, that was written by a former military soldier, veteran. I didn't even want to disrespect his rank, but he was up there in rank. And he wrote this book. I met him. He signed it. Like, it's somewhere in my collection over there. But when I tell you, it feels so amazing to come from a place of hardship and like, I can't figure this out, will it ever get right? Get with God. I'm telling you, like when Steve Harvey said that to me, and I moved with a certain urgency and started getting my life right and move myself from people, places, and things that didn't really belong in my life, especially where I was trying to go. And if you're trying to go somewhere in a certain light, you gotta let people go. And you ain't gotta let them go in a negative way. Just remove them from your mind as far as concern, right? For me, it was a concern. Like I will always keep these people on my mind, how they doing. But after a while, it was just like, just let's think about them and more about your production and what you're trying to do in your life, right? Because that's how big my heart is. Like if you got a big heart, like you can't help yourself but just think about the people, right? That's me. I just can't help but just think about other people, their well-being, especially if I know you and you're a friend or close family. Like I'ma always love you. You know what I mean? But it comes to a point where you have to separate yourself. You know what I mean? You hear in the Bible, God had to remove and separate himself from his own people. You know what I mean? Just to send his message, just to get to that finish line, just to get to, you know what I mean? So without that, we won't be here, right? So I say that never stop what you want to do in life, man, because you stopping what you're doing is stopping the blessings of yourself and possibly someone else, right? So never stop your blessings. Never stop what you got to do because of someone else's, because you love them too much, or, you want to help them. And we want to help our loved ones, but sometimes our loved ones gotta go through their hurdles. And in the book, oh my goodness, I could go on. So many books I've read. One of the books I've read, it's the power of subconscious minds, right? And it talks about like allowing people to go through what they need to go through, right? And not feeling like you have to be in control, right? Detachment is part of that too. They talk about that in the book. That when you learn to just let people live their life, right? Because they have their own journey. We all know that. Everybody have a purpose, right? So if we're trying to constantly help them and constantly fix the problem, we kind of enabling them. You know what I mean? Because they're going to never get to that root of the issue because we're there like Superman saving the day. So that's one of the things I've learned is let people be who they're going to be. Let them live their life, even if it hurts you to see them like that. And trust me, it hurt me to see family struggling. But you know what? They never did the inner work. They never took the time to figure out what they need to do to better themselves as a person, not through the job, not through school, not through the community, through yourself, like figuring out how you can get you right. And I think that was one of the best things I can say. Like when you scratch the surface, when you remove everyone, what really matters? You really matter. So if you're not taking the time to do what you need to do for you, guess what? You're going to just suffer. And I suffered way too long with people, places, and things to allow me to, I got wise. You know what I mean? I couldn't stay naive, especially as things around you change. You should change. You know what I mean? If things ain't around you ain't changing, and it's causing the same like cycle of problems, you got to reevaluate. That's one of the things that I can tell you. I reevaluated my life and myself so that I can be here. And I didn't even know I was going to be making a podcast type thing. I just was like, yo, I want to do something different. Honestly, part of this is really becoming like a mentor, you know what I mean, for the youth. You know what I mean? For the ones that struggle, or even people like yourself, but it starts with the youth for me, because they the next to carry on. We grown, you know what I mean, late 30s, early 20s, late 20s, whatever, early 40s, late 40s, whatever it may be. We've already we are living the generation now, right? The one they was talking about 10, 15 years ago, 20 years ago. This is us right now. So I'm more concerned about the next 20 years. You know what I mean? And I love to see my people Hey, appreciate you. I just love to see, like my people or just youth doing well. It troubles me to see the ones lost trying to figure out, and because they so lost and they don't have family or the proper guidance. I tell you this, I had met a young man, no lie. I had met this man, and I was going to one of my appointments, right? I was going to one of my doctor's appointments, and I stopped at the gas station across the street. And I went in there, and I seen it. I'm very aware of my surroundings. So I happened to just see, a dude, sitting in front of the store. And when I got out, he said something to me. He was like, "Hey, what's going on?" And I was like, "What's up with you?" And he was like, pretty much asking me for a couple $. And I was like, "Yo, give me a second." You know what I mean? So I went, pretty much got what I needed, and I came out. And when I had came out, he was still there. And I said to him, I said, I asked him, "What's your situation?" He was like, "You got family?" He was like, "Yeah, but my family, just pretty much disowned me almost, pretty much. It was like, I got kicked out, something like that." And he's like, "I'm out here, trying to figure it out." And I was like, "You got food?" He was like, "Nah." I said, "All right." So I'm like, I don't know the area, so I'm pretty much like, "Yo, bro, meet me at McDonald's." I said, "Is the McDonald's right here?" He's like, "Yeah, around the corner." I said, "All right, cool. Meet me around the corner. Meet me there." So he said, "All right, cool." Meet him there. And I already had, when I went in the store, I had grabbed like 2 water bottles for myself. But in the mix of it, it was like, someone was like in my spirit, was like, "Yo, just give him the 2 waters." You know what I mean? But when I got there, I meet him, I'm still talking to him, asking him like what his plan was, what's going on. And he's like, "Yeah, I'm just trying to figure it out day by day, I'm like, "All right, cool." I told him straight up, I was like, "Yo, I'm gonna look out for you. I hope I don't got to see you out here again, but if I do, I hope you're a little better than what I see you in, right?" And he's like, "All right, cool. Got him his food, gave him the water, boom. And I left. Didn't see him again. And I say that to say that it's troubling to see that. And I didn't do it for the recognition. I did that multiple times to multiple people because it was just in my heart to be like, "Yo, help somebody," right? Help somebody. Hey, I appreciate all the love, man. Everybody, please share the video, share my live, man. Subscribe. Follow me, so you can get more content, all that. It just bothers me to see young brothers down on the street. Young women even worse. You know what I mean? It's even worse to see women out in the street, lost and stuff. And my mentoring, I want to prevent that. I want to help. You know what I mean? It ain't got to be a homeless type of person, but anyone, young, trying to, young teen, young man, 20, 21, anybody that is trying to find a way in life and is struggling, right? Who's struggling. And to let them know, like, "Hey, trust me, look, I see you. Whether it's, physically seeing you or spiritually seeing you. You know what I mean? And that you're not alone. And if anything that I can do and build to help, I got so many ideas, and I'm gonna use, my credentials to build that. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's coming out of my own pocket, really. Because I want to see young brothers and young sisters just doing well. You know what I mean? I was lucky enough to have a little support on the way, but that was just enough to fuel me. You know what I mean? And I had to figure out the rest. You know what I mean? And it's sad to see young brothers without their parents, sisters without their parents, father figures, you name it. Because I went through that. You know what I'm saying? I literally went through that. You know what I mean? The mother that was raising me, rest in peace, gave me my last name, she gone. You know what I mean? At a young age, she was gone. Like I had to face that. You know what I mean? And some people never realize that. They got their parents now and they don't realize how valuable it is to have your parents if they're good to you. I ain't gonna say just having parents, because some parents are not good. And if you don't look at them parents and remove them as titles, they're just people. You know what I mean? We give them a title and make it above who they're really supposed to be, and you remove the title, you see them who they are. I see people spiritually. I don't see people as flesh. I see spiritual. You know what I mean? And it's crazy because I felt that for years, and I just thought it was weird. Like, I can almost read people. I can read people, they spirit. You know what I mean? And I used to ignore that and be like, you know, if they smiled or they was cool, I would vibe off that. But if my spirit was like, nah, they might not be right. But because I was so into the physical world of looking for validation and love because I didn't get it, it cost me a lot. It cost me a lot of, you know, pain and suffering because of it. But when you realize where your pain comes from, when you start to heal that inner child, that void that you never got when you was a kid, and you start to realize, oh, I can heal this myself, you're on the way. That's halfway to battle. Because I met too many adults that struggle with self-esteem and confidence. And that's what this conversation within us podcast is really, really all about, is learning to talk to yourself better, because your inner voice is always listening no matter what. And I learned that. That's not something I learned in the Bible. That's something that I learned in my own experience in life. Like, talk to yourself. We so used to talking to ourselves negative, you know, or we got that outside voice of friends, family that we look up to or we love, and we take. Well, I'm gonna speak for me. I took a lot of people that I admire and I love and I respected their opinion, even if it was wrong. Like, if they said something like, yo, you can't do that shit, that ain't gonna work. You know what I used to take that person like, oh damn, I can't do this shit for real. They said, because they know me. They said I can't do this shit. And I would subconsciously believe that. And I know a lot of us do that. Like, we would be around people and friends and we would literally think that because we love them so much and they love us, right? They telling us the truth. And a lot of time it's from their fears, their insecurities, right? So when you understand that, you start to move in a different purpose. You start to be real with you. You start to look up to God. You start to really reflect in that God, the God in you. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to look up. You got to look in you. You know what I'm saying? Because God is in you. You know what I'm saying? And I learned that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that, you know, if you don't pray and you don't believe God is above you, yeah, if that's what you believe. But my experiences and what I experienced, whether he's outside or within you, he's here with you at all times. But we gotta be aware of it though. That's the key. We're not aware of it. We just be, you know, when shit good, shit good. You know what I mean? But when you start being aware of it and intentional about being aware about it, I mean, I swear to you, it's like magic. I swear to you, I wouldn't even be here. Like, I'd be chilling. Like, I'm spiritually rich, and that's not even being cocky. Like, God is like, look, I got you. And for a long time, I used to downplay a lot of my blessings because of the surroundings, people I was around. I didn't want to look boastful, or I didn't want to look like I was, you know, shaming anybody. But I was happy for myself, but because everybody I was around wasn't happy for me, I used to downplay my accomplishments, my good deeds, anything that I did, and I would share with certain people. It would shock my confidence because they wouldn't be like, you know, happy and shit. They'd just be on some you know, like, you know what I mean? And when you realize that, you start to look at yourself and start to realize that everybody else outside of you, they really don't matter when it comes down to you and your life and your purpose and your alignment with what God has for you. Everybody really just, if they for you and they with God and they from God, they're gonna be right there with you. But the scariest thing is when you ask God to reveal the people in your life and remove the bad and the wrong and show you, He's gonna show you. And the painful thing was seeing family, close friends, like, and not all just shade, but realize some just don't support you like you thought they would. You know what I mean? A lot of them I learned, they support me through the, you know what I mean? That, yo, I saw that, I saw you, I heard you, but won't share, not a thing. You know what I mean? And that shit make you realize, like, hey, you got to do it for you. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm doing it. It ain't for them. It's for me. You know what I mean? It's for my family, my daughter. You know what I mean? And her podcast is coming too. You know what I mean? Hers is gonna be even better than mine. I can even promise you, it's gonna probably be better than mine. But I'm just grateful, and I appreciate everybody, just tapping in with me. You know what I mean? It's 12 o'clock on a Monday. You know what I mean? And I appreciate y'all tapping in. You know what I mean? I'm just talking. You know what I mean? I'm here just sharing a little knowledge with y'all. And I appreciate tap in if you here, man. Just put in a comment, I'm here. You know what I mean? Let me know I see y'all. You know what I mean? And I appreciate all the love and the support. You know, I'm doing this because it's on my heart, it's on my spirit to just share. You know what I mean? I don't know it all. I wouldn't lie and say I know it all, but I just know my experiences. And if I didn't get through what I went through, I wouldn't be here. And God is part of the reason why I'm here. You know what I mean? Went through a lot of trials and tribulations. Bumped my head 1,000 times over the same mistakes. Poof. You know what I mean? Like just knocking my head. But I'm grateful for every last moment because it woke me up. You know what I mean? It allowed me to say to myself, like, what are you doing or what can you do, right? And sometimes I go to God and I got to ask God. I got to say, hey, God, what can I do differently? What do I need to do? Show me. And when you really ask, and I mean heart to heart, like I ain't talking going to church. I'm talking about in solitude, just by yourself. Really sit down and just talk. Let God know what's on your heart. You know what I mean? And you're going to start to realize a lot of different things. And you might be surprised how it happened, you know, but he will show you what you want to see. And the only thing I'll tell you, just be ready for it. Just be ready for what you ask for, but just know it'll be nothing that you can't handle. I went through 8 years in the military. I ain't gonna lie, it was a little scary. But in a sense, it was, God, I knew, I promise you, before I joined, I prayed. Like when I knew I was officially in, I said, God, I don't know what's about to happen, but I just ask you to protect me throughout my journey. And throughout my journey, through the war, through the training, through a lot of friends losing lives, through training, suicidal, you name it. Military is not just a place of just, a joyride like some people think. You know what I mean? You really go through a pain. You really go see things. You really, emotionally, you really have to be strong. And some people, unfortunately couldn't deal with a lot of that. Some people, got out because of a lot of, PTSD and just pain and suffering that not only that you experience, but that you experience, but you experience outside, you know what I mean? From other people, friends, you know what I mean? And it's tough. It's tough because you know what they tell you? They like, hey, keep on rolling. You know what I mean? Keep on rolling. You know what I mean? You hurt yourself, patch it up, keep going. You know what I'm saying? Ibuprofen, here you go. You know what I'm saying? So it's a tough battle, but I tell you, you learn so much about yourself. You meet some wonderful people. That's one of the things that I've learned. You meet some wonderful people along the way. And some of them, to this day, I tell them they family to me. Hey, you call me, if I got it, you got it. We fams. You know what I mean? Because you go through so much, like family. When you grow up or you around somebody for so many years or in a confinement place for so long, you build a rapport with them. You know what I mean? And some of that bond is unbreakable when you really look at it. Some bonds, you like, yo, you was in the trenches with me. Some people could say, yo, you saved my life almost. You know what I mean? You saved me. So gotta be grateful for that. You know what I mean? To just know, like, there's people that love you and care about you, and you ain't even gotta be blood with them. You know what I mean? You ain't gotta be blood. They want to see you good, so they're gonna protect you like you will protect them. And that's one of that's one of the things you learn in the military. Like, it's not all negative. I mean, it's a lot of bullshit, of course. You see it, you hear about it. But the thing about it is just let you know that no matter what happens, life goes on and keep going and keep going. And that's the message I want you to know. Is like, no matter what happens in life, you keep going and you keep going, you keep going, you keep going. Because guess what? You here today. You felt this before. You felt stuck before, right? So just know, like, you're going to get through this moment. You just got to tell yourself that I'm going to get through this. I'm going to figure it out. I don't know how, but I'm going to figure it out, and I'm going to keep moving. And honestly, I think that's half the things that's going to get you through life, is just having that mindset, having that confidence, knowing that what you're doing with good intentions, with pure love and honest, when you move like that, like I said, just know in the back of your mind and consciousness that, yo, you're going to reap what you sow. If you're out here putting bad energy out, you're going to get that right back. And the way life is, you're going to get it 10 times fold even faster. So I just tell people, hey, yo, when you're dealing with people, just move with love, and love will return. Everybody's not going to be like you and give love, and I had to learn that journey too. But just move with love. Like God, like, he's not like, hey, give me love and I give you love. He just giving love. Just giving love. And you're going to get some hate. Like he got hate, and that's one of the things, like, I still learn, like, people gonna be mad at you and hate you for just you being you, but don't let that stop you. You know what I mean? And knowing, like, the mindset of confidence and the mindset of encourage and being motivated and just being happy about where you at in your life, and just move forward, because ain't nobody gonna tell you you can do it but you, right? We may have you know, people around, you know, small, maybe a little grandma or mom, somebody might be able to tell you, hey, I believe in you, keep going. But if they're not around, if they pass away, God forbid, or, you know, they no longer here, you gotta tell yourself that every day. I wake up and tell myself, yo, you him. Oh, you got it. You got this. Some days I won't be feeling it, but guess what? I still gotta move like it. Why? Because eventually this feeling that I'm feeling, that we all feel, the emotions, right? The emotions up and down, we're gonna feel it every day. Or we're gonna feel it from time to time. And just know that's just part of the life. Like, you know, I'm learning so much being a married man, right? Every day is not gonna be peachy cream. You know what I mean? Every day not gonna be, you know, roses. But just know that moving in positivity and knowing that things will get better, and you want and you move like that, it's gonna get better. I mean, it's gonna get better. And like I said, if you don't know nothing else, just know that God is always in control. He's always watching. And a lot of people be like, that's scary, but you know you better than you, right? So understand and learn you. Learn who you are. And when you start to learn the power, like I said, this book right here, The Power. And you can look, you know, and find it in your bookstore app. It's called The Power. The Power of You, right? Power of You. And when I tell you, it's so, it gets so interesting when you really start to see from the way you think, your actions, all that aligns within your power, right? In the way you think about yourself, right? I'll read something from y'all just to show y'all. Look. Let me see. I don't want to highlight in this book, so I just try to memorize the chapter a little bit. Okay. Let me see which one. Okay. I like someone was so deep. All right. Ooh, hold on. The Power of Love. No. That's why I need to highlight, because it'd be so much powerful stuff in here that I don't be knowing where to read from. All right. This is called self-hate, right? This is called self-hate, right? It says not loving yourself in healthy ways can harm you in so many subtle ways, and as inconvenient as it may sound, you can self-hate and not even be aware of it. Unhealthy habits are forms of self-hate, and when they become detrimental to you and those around you, you will either create nor build healthy relationships that way. Saying yes when you want to say no is a form of self-hate because you're going against your spiritual, emotional, and physical limits. Being angry repeatedly for the same reason in a form of self-hate because you are depleting and agitating your spirit and building an emotional and a spiritual scar. Yeah, that right there, self-hate. When I tell you self-hate, I've been in a state of self-hate, and that's just me being honest of going through things and then talking negative about my situation or what I'm going through, right? And like they said, saying no, saying yes when you know you want to say no. I did that so many times. Like family, like, you know how, people graduate and, you got holidays, you got certain things, right? Being in the military, it's kind of hard to kind of move around like you want to, even though we have times where we can, but then there's times where we can't. And it happened to be the times where I really can't because I got things going on and family, people graduating, they got, parties here. And being in Georgia, I got family in Atlanta part, I got family in another part, I got family in North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida, the other part of Florida, like everywhere. And they would say, yo, I got an event, family gathering, get together, just come through, like all in like 1 month, right? And me being who I am and wanting to just be there and be love and show people love and that I support them and that I love them, regardless of what it cost me and what things that I had to deal with, whether I had $100, $200 in my pocket, traveling, you know what I mean? This weekend I'm over here, next weekend I'm over here, weekend I'm back over here in Atlanta, like just to please people. And I really wanted to say no, like I'm tired, I really ain't got it right now, but because, I was in a state of self-hate, I was doing these things. I didn't know. Doing these things, you're not realizing you're causing yourself harm, right? You're causing yourself harm. And you start to realize that and you start to want to change, and kudos to you if you want to change. If you're in that state of mind and you're struggling, you want to change that. And I encourage you, change that mindset and do better for yourself because who else is going to do it for you? Ain't nobody else going to do it for you but you. So please, I encourage you to just, no matter what, put yourself first, keep God first, but work on yourself so that you can be in a position to help. You can be in a position to love, because in order to love someone else, you got to love yourself first, right? The correct way, you know what I mean? And not self-hate, you know what I mean? And self-hate, like they said, it could be the simplest things. You don't even realize it. So please, like, if you don't know nothing else, just know, like, love yourself. Do what you need to do for you first. And if you got time, if you got the energy, got the finances to do, then do it. In the meantime, don't worry about it. Don't work yourself up trying to figure out. I used to do that. I used to try to work myself. All right, how am I gonna figure this out? I mean, I'm brokey. Like I'm scratching my ears trying to pull out money, or scratching on what I got, or making it last and knowing, like, you know what I mean? I just paid bills and this is what I got to next pay. But everybody want me to be here. And, if it's a birthday party, if it's a kid's birthday party, like my niece or my nephew, or whoever it may be, graduation, you don't want to come empty-handed, right? So I'm spending money, gas money, hotel money, food money, just to satisfy individuals that really, most of the time, they selfish. They selfish. So we are bending our back for people that wouldn't do it for us and pretty much selfish. And when you get that power back and when you learn you got that power to live the life that you want to live and you have the power to leave people where they at and not feel bad about it. You know what I'm saying? Like get to that point where you can leave people where they at and not feel bad about it. You know what I mean? It took some time. It took some time to get to a place where it was like, damn, I hate to do it to you, but I got to put you in that department, that area, that section, because I can no longer put you as a priority in my life because you're toxic and you're not on the same alignment, on the same assignment as me, right? And we got to understand that. We got to learn that. Hey, yo, thank you for tapping in. Everybody tapping in. I got 65. Hey, yo, that's what's up. Everybody, yo. Hey, yo, put in the comments, yo, you here. If you up and you awake and you watching, hey, yo, put you here. So I know you here. You know what I mean? But I appreciate all the love, man. And like I said, man, please put yourself first, and no matter what, man, because you're gonna hate yourself later. You're gonna hate yourself later. I know too many people that never learned that lesson about life. Is stop putting everybody else first and put yourself first. Love yourself. Build that relationship with God first, for real. So you know how to move. He gives you that discernment. He gives you that insight on how to move and what your goal is. And like, I mean, when it comes to vision, like I didn't know I was gonna be doing a podcast for real. This is a guy right here, for real. Like I didn't even know. I was just, you know, I just wanted to be a mentor, which part of my journey is be a mentor. But this podcast it was a vision. It was like, yo, do podcasting. And I was like, you know what? I do got something to say. You know what I mean? I can't, you know, I got a book I want to write. Like it's so much that I'm gonna do. That is like, this is part of that journey, right? This is part of that journey to get to where I'm at. So I appreciate all the love that I have been given to do this, right? My daughter, my wife, you know, friends, family, you know what I mean? And just God himself to give me the vision. You know what I mean? If you got a vision, follow the vision. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be like, you know, I speed and all that. I'm just trying to be Stephen A. Malone. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to be me. And I want to let everybody know I'm just like you. I just follow my intuition. I follow my heart. I followed what God has told me to do. So it's not like I'm just trying to be out here like just to be out here. You know what I mean? Like I'm really a private, quiet person. You know what I mean? But God was like, yo, you got a message. Like, if you're not going to write this book or you're not going to get out here, I need you to do something, right? So all these visions and things are coming to me, and it's like, oh, I got to do this. You know what I mean? It's so real that he provided me with, like, I got the bread, like, the money to do it. So that was more of a confirmation for me, too. Like, if God is giving you signs, take the signs. Like, I could have took the bread and just blew it on stupid shit. Clothes, you know, all kind of shit. New car. But I did it. You know what I mean? I took my money and I was like, you know what? God, I'm gonna do what you told me to do. I'm gonna build this podcast. Bit by bit. I'm telling you. And it's gonna even get more. You know what I mean? Like, I'm impressed with myself how far I came. Right? Like, starting this podcast, I was recording on my phone, right? If you look at my TikToks, a lot of mine is just on my phone, you know, whoop-de-whoop. But behind all that, like, I had all this, you know what I mean? Like, after getting out the military, like, not even a few months, like, it's God. Hey, check this out, boom, 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 boom. Now I'm doing this. I'm like, boom, buying the cameras. I'm like, it's amazing. And that's why I'm just like, yo, if you don't get on your mission, and I'm telling you, if you don't get on your mission, whatever God's got on your heart, on your mind that you think about, I don't care what it is. If it's righteous and it's right, do it. Because it ain't no telling what it's going to do. Like I said, I did a video a year ago. I did a video when the vision was all coming to me, I was out in the transition of getting out the military, right? If anybody know about getting out the military, they know it's a transition. It's a heavy transition. You gotta, and you can't miss a beat. You can't miss a step. If you miss a step, back to restart. If anybody know, like my people, yo, tell them, yo, if you mess up or miss a beat or paperwork in the military, you might as well start from scratch. Because that's how they treat you, right? You got to start from scratch. So me going through everything I had to go through by myself and then being right here is amazing. So when I was in transition and getting out, not really knowing when, but knowing that I had practically months, and it was on my heart, yo, start a podcast, start talking. And I created literally a video, right? To my two iPhones, right? I got the 5E, the SE or something like that, like the small joint, right? And I got my regular iPhone. This phone dying on me every 30 minutes, so I'm constantly like, and I'm telling you this because it was the determination that I had. That guy was like, you gonna do this, figure it out. I mean, I'm up all night, can't even sleep because I don't sleep, right? So I'm up all night. I got PT in the morning, which is just me showing up and then leaving, but it was just like, still gotta be up at 6, gotta be there at 6:30, so I gotta be up. Then if I got appointments or got other things I gotta do, I'm gonna be tired, so I gotta, you know what I mean? So my mind is constantly racing, right? And the me recording on both phones, then, you know, I had to get me a computer, right? That was a whole, like, it was such, when I look back on it, it was such God's plan, the way it happened for me to do what I did, when I did it, how I did it. It was all his plan, because now I'm looking back like, dang, I was just buying a laptop because the tablet that I bought, both tablets, I had an Apple, and I had a Android. You know, being in the military, I brought it with me on a freaking assignment on some training, thinking I, you know, just on some chill or have it, man. They ran over, a bulldozer ran over my bags and my homie's bags, crushed the whole shit, crushed it. They were supposed to reimburse me, but come to find out, oh, nah, it was my fault. I shouldn't have had it. Some stupid shit. All right, cool, whatever. So me going after that and buying just a regular HP computer just to have because I lost my tablet. And then for it to turn into me buying me editing and doing videos, it was like, it was God's plan. So I'm telling you, when you have God's plan in you and he's telling you something, stick to it. Don't get discouraged by friends. Don't get discouraged by family. Shit, don't get discouraged by yourself. Because we tend to do that. And that's why you see that Conversation Within Us podcast logo on the bottom. Follow my YouTube channel. Follow my YouTube channel because I really talk and I share more. And I want you to understand that it starts within you. You got to believe in yourself in order to get to where you want to be. Learn to talk to yourself better because your inner voice is always listening. I promise you. You got to understand that. And when you understand that, you start to move in a certain way. And it start to rub people off the wrong way. I understand that. Like when people say, oh, they don't like somebody because, you know, they outgrown them or, you know, they doing things better, whatever the case may be, I understand that now because you get to a point that you don't tolerate certain things. You're just not with it. And you want more out of life. And some people just can't understand that. And it rubs them the wrong way. Even deeper is people would literally envy you, dislike you, just because they see what you are that they don't have, right? Or what you do or who you are, they lack, right? Things that you accomplished, and it had to wake me up too. Things I've accomplished in my life that I look at it as like, okay, I accomplished that. Let me keep moving forward. I got so much more work. There's people that may be older than you, your age. I don't count young because young, you just don't know. But when you my age or older, you hold a certain accountability. You know what I'm saying? And I've learned that you have to have that confidence in yourself because people will let you down. You know what I mean? People will let you down. Things will happen out of your control. And if you don't have that self-confidence in yourself and belief in yourself, people they're gonna just have you on the swing. Just have you on the swing. You know what I'm saying? And your emotions is gonna be involved. And I went through that. Like that was a tough time for me. Like being around people that I loved and I care about, and knowing that they didn't have the right mindset, and you're around people that don't really, know, or let's say they do know who you are, they tend to play with you. They tend to play in your face. And if you don't know who you are, because you love them so much, you're gonna allow it to happen. And I did that for so long because I love hard. You my family, my kinfolk. Hey, well, excuse me. If I rock with you and you my kinfolks or somebody I met along the way, and you cool, hey, I rock with you. I don't got no reason not to like you. You know what I'm saying? And if you're doing something that I ain't doing, that's motivation for me. Like a word. You know what I'm saying? Like being in the military, right? There's so many people I know ranked up fast. Ranked up fast, whether it was their MOS, whether they just was good at what they did and they just moved up, right? I never hated. Actually, that was more of a motivation for me because it was like, I see you. I see you. You know what I mean? And like I said before, if I could do it, I know you could do it. So for me, it was like, if they could do it, I could do it. It's just me figuring out what I need to do to get that, right? So it was never a hate. You know what I mean? I encourage people like, yo, go do that. Yo, you should do that. You know what I mean? And for some people just can't do that. Some people just don't want to see you doing better than them. And that's what's hard. You like, I just can't see it. Like, how? I mean, because what you do is for you. You know what I mean? Like, understand that what God and what you got going on in your life is for you. Like, never envy. You know what I mean? I never was envy. More so, it was more like me, like, dang, like, how can I get like that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, and me shoot myself down, I'll be like, yo, I can't do that because, I'm too short, or I can't do that because I ain't got the money. You know what I mean? That's me shooting myself down. It was never a hate. It was, if anything, it was hating on myself. You know what I mean? So never have hate in your heart, man. Like, I know it's hard, and as you see the shirt, look, read the shirt. God know my heart, man. He know. And if you know your heart, move accordingly. Move accordingly. And I learned that when you move accordingly and God's move, like in his spirit, when you know how you moving, there's gonna be people that I kind of feel like they know that, and they kind of move away from that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going around boasting God this, God that, but I will say he's been a major impact on my life. So I'm not gonna scare you with God, but I'm gonna let you know that if you struggling in life, I can probably tell you something that can help you. You know what I mean? So understand that it's all about your perspective. It's all about knowing and being aware of that. Like I said, that power in you, man. That real power, man. People be thinking it's magic, but when I tell you that Steve Harvey shit, when he said that, it hit me home. It hit home, and I'm gonna live saying that. Like, yo, he got a radio show, I got a podcast. You know what I mean? I got a podcast. So understand, like, it can happen for you. No, I don't care where you at. It can happen for you. You can be in a messed up situation right now, or in a situation where you're feeling stuck. But I promise you, when you start to surrender yourself to your higher self, you know what time it is. When you start to surrender yourself to your higher self, I say it like that. When you start to surrender yourself to your higher self, you start to know what's up. And that's the simplest way I can put it. And God he's my front line. You know what I mean? Like, it's things things happen to me in life where I want to retaliate. But God showed up. Like, and if you know, like, God show up for you. Like, oh, they did you wrong. Just don't get in the mix and don't put your hand in it, right? And let God do it. Like, I promise you, when he do it, he do it. He do it. And that's why I just be like, man, that's why I can't have no hate in my heart. I can't. You know what I mean? Because when I move with love, man, and I just kind of let God take control, man, I'll be up there. I'll be feeling good. You know what I mean? Because that's when I can't see nothing but positivity. When I'm moving in God's spirit and just love and just in being in presence, being present in life, like waking up and understand, like, hey, you've made it through another day. You have the power to make a better day, right? Like they say, I'm gonna play a podcast episode so y'all can tap and understand where my mind go and how deep it go and where I get my power and my confidence when it's not for myself, when I read or I listen to other inspirational people, right? So I'm gonna tap in and I'm gonna play something in a second, but understand that it starts with you, man. You know, you got power to be great, and if you don't know that, you know what I'm saying? Like that's real deep. If you don't know that, you lost. You got to know, like, I'm here for a reason. I'm here for a purpose, and I'm gonna figure that out. And a lot of our struggles, like I said before, things gonna happen to us. We just gotta learn to adapt, right? And not a lot of things that happen to us is to us. Sometimes it's for us, right? And I learned that. Some things don't happen to us, they happen for us. And when you start to change your perspective, whether it's good or bad, when you change your perspective, you're like, okay, cool. Now I know how to move now. Or I know how to move for the next one if it come up. And you just move like that. You know what I mean? Hey, I appreciate all the love. I appreciate it. Thank you. Hey, appreciate the love. Tap in with me. If you haven't followed, please follow me, please. I appreciate the love. But definitely, you know, learn to just love, man. And when you move like that, you know, I can tell you, like I said before, I feel spiritually rich, and I don't even have $1 million. But because God has shown me so much love, I got a family, right? I got a family. I got a podcast. I got a beautiful home. I got material things. You know, I like my electronics. You know, those are material things. But there was a point in time where I just visioned it. I just said one day I wish I can have it. And I worked towards it. I worked towards having every little thing, even the material, even the smallest things. I'm grateful for it. You know what I mean? So I want people to understand that. Just be grateful. You know, you was once in a worse situation, right? Now you're in a better situation. And look, even if it feels bad, guess what? You're going to get to the other side and you're going to be feeling good again. You're going to feel good. You're going to be like, oh, yes. But just know that was from the man above or the God in you. You know what I mean? And that, I think that's what separates people that's successful in life. And I'm not just talking money. I'm talking about like successful, like I feel successful. You know what I mean? Like I have a family. Most people don't have a family. Most people had a family and they divorced. You know what I mean? Some people lost their family that way. Some people family passed away. I know a few, right? Lost their whole family, right? So just be grateful. I'm grateful every day. I'm like, yo, I can't believe I'm still doing this. Like, I got this, I got that. Sometimes I have so much that I don't be knowing what to do, right? And we get like that, but we got to remember to stay humble in the sense of we don't get big-headed. We know that it was given, right, as a blessing. And if we don't nurture it, if we don't care for it, if we don't move with intentions, and care for it with intentions, we're gonna lose it. You see so many people have it all, but because they didn't care for it the right way, they lost it, right? And I'm so grateful for my family every day. For a long time, my daughter's 5 years old. Before my 5 years of her being born, I thought I was just gonna be an uncle. I really did. I was like, I'm probably gonna just be an uncle, you know, I'm be cool. Any of my nieces and nephews know, hey, uncle come through, what you need, buy you this, buy you that. Hey, we're going to chill, we're going to laugh, we're going to kick it, right? And then God was like, nah, I got a bigger plan for you. You about to be a dad. You about to be a husband. You're going to have big responsibilities. You about to do this. And there was a point in my life, like I said, I just sometimes envisioned some of the things, but I didn't know how it was going to play out, how I was going to get the money, how I was going to do that. And God just was like, he just dumped it on me like, doof. You know what I mean? And we be looking for that big day, and my day came. My day came. Where I wasn't going to have to worry about where my next meal was going to come from, or, you know, who was going to love me, or who was going to support me, or, you know, where my next dollar was going to come from. I ain't even worry about that no more. You know what I'm saying? And we all going to get to that place. You just got to know and believe and move in that way that God wants you to move. Move with love. Like I said, move with love. Move with intentions. Because after a while, you start to realize that that's all you got. You and God. When it comes down to not including your spouse, your loved one, just you and God. I think that's what people fail to realize, is that it has to be you and God. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have those those physical relationships, but what about the spiritual relationship, right? That we don't see. Like, there's the world that we see, and there's the world that we don't see. That's how I like to look at it. It's the world we see, it's the world we don't see, as we know, the spiritual realm. And that's where I get in my mode in thinking that it's so real that you got to understand that life is not so much on the physical. Like, I think the real world is the spiritual. You know what I mean? Like that, and it's hard to explain, like, in this type of setting right at this moment, but things that I'm learning and understanding just from experiences, like, literally that's what it comes down to. God, like that spiritual world that we don't see. That's where the real work come in. All this material is just for the fun. This is just fun. This is experience. But who you are inside, that's what counts. We all can show up. I look cool, right? I look cool, but a year ago, months ago, I was in an emotional state, struggling with mental health and things like that, right? So, never know where people come from, right? So, can never judge a book by its cover. So when you see people, we can put on a good front, or we look good from the outside, but you never know what we've been through, what we go through, right? So work on your inner self, right? Work on that. Like I said, that's why I read. I love reading. Reading is like my getaway. You know what I mean? I love the game. I game up, be on the consoles, you name it, the VR, I be chilling. But when it's time for me to get serious and lock in, it's my reading. I read. You know what I mean? I read different books. I could show you my whole book collection. But I love to read because it helped me understand that there's a whole nother world, right? There's a whole different perspective that sometimes we never even tapped into because we're so surrounded by the people around us, right? Like I said, that's why the podcast, you guys is tapping in through my TikTok. But if you tap in on my YouTube channel, Conversation Within Us, subscribe, check out all my clips. More videos to load up as I work. But I'm a one-man band, right? So it's a learning growth for me too. Camera, lights, you know what I mean? Microphone, like, you know what I mean? Like, you name it. And like I said, I didn't know how all this is going to play out. I didn't even know this is really part of my vision. God gave it to me. You know what I mean? My vision originally was just being a mentor, right? Let me get back to the people that's less fortunate, or the youth, or people struggling in life, right? Or people just like me, right? People just like me that's feeling stuck in their life and that need a way to figure out how to get to the next level. That's what my podcast is about. You know what I mean? I'm just like you. I'm just like you. I might look different, but I'm just like you. I just went through a different path, right? Whether it's just me joining the military, me being a stand-up man, being a family man, and being a father and a husband, or just being a good person, right? All those things got me to where I'm at. And so, like I said, this podcast is not about fame or getting recognition. It's more about letting people know, like, hey, I built the confidence within myself, built that relationship with God, and this is where it got me. You know what I mean? Like I said, no telling how far a podcast is gonna go for me. But it was just like, hey, God put it on me. He gave me the funds. He said, yo, drop the bag. Hey, yo, go get that. Look, if I could pull up my notes, I wrote it. It was a year ago. I literally was looking, you know what I mean? Because he put it on my heart, like, figure out, you know what I mean? Figure this out. And I'm telling you, I was up all night figuring it out, all night, just, you know what I mean? Doing this, doing that. And it was funny because I laugh now, but it was funny because I was, you know, if you ever understand about editing and videos and things like that and recording, right, you make mistakes, right? You make mistakes. You're going to do trial and error, right? And I just kept remembering, just hitting record, stop, delete, record, stop, delete. Like I said, my other phone I had kept dying on me because it was a iPhone 8 or it was one of those, right? One of the iPhones still had the home button, right? Still got it. But it was useful at the time. And it just kept dying because, like I said, it's not as powerful as my latest iPhone. So it kept dying, had to recharge it, you know, send it to this phone, download it on the computer, like all these things that got me to where I'm at, right? It's steps, it's a process. And if I would have gave up along the process, you would not see me right now. You wouldn't even know who I am. If you're not a friend or family, you wouldn't know who I am. I wouldn't even be on here. I wouldn't have my camera. I wouldn't be looking cool. Nothing. I wouldn't do nothing because I wouldn't have had the confidence in the discernment that God put on me to be like, hey, look, that's what I want you to do. Regardless of how you feel. And even to this point, it took me a while to get to this point because still building the layer of my confidence and being able to do what I needed to do. So it's always a work in progress. It's never like you figured it all out. It's always a work in progress in life, at least how I feel. There's always going to be layers and layers and layers and layers. It's an extension of another. Like my man Nas said, you know what I mean? It's an extension of another. Everything is an extension of another. And I believe that. I believe it. Hey, yo, I appreciate the love. Thank you, yo. Appreciate the love. I got 562 loves, likes. Hey, yo, I appreciate it. We got 90 people in here. Yo, thank y'all. Just chiming in with me. Hey, yo, let me get to this audio for y'all so y'all could understand what I'll be listening to. You know what I mean? I listen to, we got an iPhone, the podcast, radio. I listen, obviously, Steve Harvey. And with my channels, hold on. And another one called Resilience, the Resilience Mindset. And that's one of my favorites because it really gets me in the deep mind state. Okay, let go or be dragged. Nah, I want a different one. Let's see. Excuse me. Let me find a better one. I appreciate everybody tapping in. Appreciate it. Recently updated. Could they give me all this extra? I don't want to go crazy on it because some of these stuff be like 30 minutes long, but we ain't got to listen to the whole thing. All right, this one is called When You Lose Everything, Don't Lose Yourself. All right, so we're going to listen to that. You know,
a well-built wardrobe is about pieces that work together and hold up over time. That's what Quince does best. Premium material, thoughtful design, and everyday staples that feel easy to wear and easy to rely on, even as the weather shifts. Quince has everyday essentials I love. Organic cotton sweaters, polos for every occasion, and lighter jackets that keep you warm in the changing seasons. Quince works directly with top factories and cuts out the middleman, so you're not paying for brand markups, just quality clothing. Everything is built to /resilience.
Hard enough to keep from getting
Resilient Mind journal by clicking the link in the show notes. Enjoy.
I was in my comfort zone. I was doing just enough to get by. I was working on a job. They paid me just enough to keep me from quitting, and I worked just hard enough to keep from getting fired. How many know people like that? Blink your eyes and you understand what I'm talking about. I was paused. I knew I could do more. But when my mama died, it took something out of me. When I went through a divorce, it took something out of me. When my best friend died, it took something out of me. I paused. And somebody said that life is like an onion. You have to peel it one layer at a time. And sometimes you cry. Life's going to happen to you when you have a dream. You're going to get slapped around. And don't take it personal. Don't ask, why did this have to happen to me? Why not you? Who would you suggest? You want to give us some names, some email addresses? And don't tell everybody. 80% don't care, and 20% glad it's you. It's called life. Suck it up and move on. Get over it. It happens to everybody. Here's the other thing is you look at your goals and look at your dreams. When you're going through some stuff, repeat out to me, please. When things go wrong, don't go with them. Yes, write that down. When things go wrong, don't go with them. When you're working on a business deal, you're counting on some money. Someone said you will get the loan, and it falls through. You have an event, and the people that you thought would be there and support you, they don't come through. Or someone turns against you, or you get ripped off. It's going to happen to you. Happened to me. Someone stole all my products, my database, over 180,000 names and addresses. It's not personal. It's going to happen to everybody. It does. 8 out of 10 millionaires have been financially bankrupt. Walt Disney had 7. He filed bankruptcy 7 times and had 2 nervous breakdowns. It's called life. But I got a saying, when life knocks you down, try and land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up. You've got the power in you to do that. You've got something special. You've got comeback power. Here's the other things. Let us say together, it's possible.
Put it in the chat.
It's necessary.
Yep.
It's me.
Yes.
Yes, write that down.
It's me. Put it in the chat. Write it down.
Take ownership for your life. Nobody can live your dream for you but you. Nobody's going to take care of your business like you.
Nope.
Stop coming up with excuses. Don't give yourself permission to continue to live a small life. You can't fit a big dream into a small life. Give yourself permission to go for it, to test yourself, to challenge yourself, to live full. I like the saying, always strive to get on top in life, because it's the bottom that's overcrowded.
Say that again.
The reason you're here is because there's something in you that says, I can do more. This just can't be it. There's something in you. There's a calling on your life.
Yep.
There's something in your heart that caused you to get dressed and spend the money to go to seminar after seminar and listen to message after message and speaker after speaker. Because there's something in you that tells you this is not it for you. You have not peaked here. There's more in you than you are expressing. Eye has not seen, ear has not heard, nor has entered the heart of mankind what's in store for you if you challenge yourself, if you persist and persevere, if you take ownership for your life. George Bernard Shaw said the people that make it in this life, they look around for the circumstances that they want, and if they can't find them, they create them.
Yes.
Create what you want. You have the power in you to do more than you can ever begin to imagine, to control your destiny, to make a difference in our children, to make a difference on the planet, to make an impact. Let us say together, it's me. And let us say together, it's hard. Say it like you know it. Say it's hard. Ladies and gentlemen, it's hard. There are people who have seen their retirements taken away from them by the corporations that they work for. They were within 2 or 3 years of retiring, and they had it taken from them. The #1 entrepreneurs in this country now are senior citizens. The #1 employer, #2, McDonald's and Walmart. And there's nothing wrong with those jobs. I guarantee you those people did not have a plan to end up living their lives at the end of life with those types of jobs. And they didn't have a plan like you have, and while you're investing in yourself, not to. And it's hard. There are people making choices between purchasing prescription drugs or paying for gas or a mortgage note. It's hard when you're working on a job for 20 years, 30 years, give them some good years, and then they come in and tell you, we've downsized. In other words, you're fired. And then you have to start all over again. How many of you know it's hard? Raise your hands, please. It's hard. And it's not fair. One of the things I like about T. Harv is he talks about work and investing in yourself. It's not fair when people are going up against that kind of stuff to tell them just think positive and be enthusiastic and everything will work out all right.
Yeah.
Ain't that kind of party. It's hard. Life will put some knots on your head.
I still got a few.
I bought my first home for my mother. I was rushing, didn't know what I was doing, and I bought a home that had a lien against it. And they called me, Mr. Brown, yes, there's a lien against your property. We need $55,000 if you're going to stay there. Wait a minute, sir. I just bought this home. The guy told me there were no liens against it. I'm not the one that owe you the money. You should have checked that out, Mr. Brown. Come on. I called my attorney. We followed up. Yes, Les, there's a lien against the property. But he told me there were no liens. He lied, obviously. Oh, my God. He told me he wanted to help me because he admired the fact that I was buying this home for my mother and that he was adopted, and he identified with me. Les, he suckered you. He played you, man. So what? Well, would they take payment arrangements? What about $5,000 a month? They want all the money, Les. They want all the money, or you're going to have to get out. The house is going up for sheriff sale. Do you have it? No, I don't have it. Can they give me some time? Tell them to give me 3 months, please. Give me 3 months. My mother's in her 70s, man. She has a bad heart. Don't do this to me. This is my dream. Don't do this, man. Please, let me talk to Les. I'm talking to their attorney. They don't want to talk to you. I've got to talk to their attorneys. Do you have the money? No. Will they give me 3 months? No. What about 2 months? No, Les. They want the money in 7 days. Oh, my God. Let me call you back. I'm not sure. And I walked the floors thinking, God, how could this happen to me? I got to figure this out. I got to figure this out. And it seemed like the days were just ticking off. Thursday, I had to call them and let them know. They called me, Les, do you have the money? No, I don't. Friday, you have to leave. The sheriff will be there. You're going to have to leave, Les. They're going to take my house. What about my down payment? You lost it, Les. You lost it. Okay. I got to go. Yes. I prayed, Lord, please, if you show me that you're real, if you're really real, you think Paul worked for you, you haven't seen anything. Don't let me lose this house and watch what I'll do for you. I was trying to cut a deal. Have you ever tried to cut a deal? It's amazing how spiritual you get when you get in trouble. You know what I mean? When I was diagnosed with prostate cancer, I was going to bed with the Bible and the Holy Quran and the Science of Mind and Joel Goldsmith, everything I could find. I was praying to Jesus, Yahweh, Melchizedek, everybody. I was calling on everybody. It's amazing. And there I was walking the floor at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I had to go and wake my mother up. I got on my knees and I said, Mama, I need you to wake up. She said, what's wrong, Leslie? I can hear you walking back and forth. I'm not asleep, son. I said, there's something I need to tell you. She said, your eyes are red. Why are your eyes red? because I feel so stupid now. Why? We got to move tomorrow. Why, Leslie? There's a lien against the property, and they want $55,000, and I don't have it. And we're going to be set out tomorrow. We have to go back to Liberty City. So she said, it's okay. I don't like this house anyhow. I said, why? She said, because of my arthritic knees, it hurts my knees when I go up the steps. I said, and why didn't you tell me? Because you were so happy. I just said it because you were happy. I'll live in a shack with you, boy. I love you. It's not the house. I love you. I love all my children. I said, thank you, Mama. Thank you. And the next day when we were in the truck, going back to Liberty City, and we pulled down 68th Terrace, the neighbors came out and said, whoa, Mamie, y'all coming back? Are you back? Yes. What happened to the home your boy bought for you? Those boys you adopted. Leslie didn't do a title search. He made a mistake. And boy, I was so humiliated. How many ever made a mistake that you were just humiliated? Raise your hands. I was devastated. I was taking the furniture off the truck, and my mother came, and I was crying. And she said, boy, I said, yes, ma'am. She said, hold your head up. I said, Mama, I can't. She said, hold your head up. I said, why? Look what I've done. She said, it's okay. It's okay. You are going to make a lot of mistakes in life, young man. You're going to fail your way to success. You have nothing to be ashamed of. Keep your head up and take that furniture back in the house. I said, yes, ma'am. And I learned something from that. If you ever go through something, hold your head up. If you ever make a mistake, hold your head up. If you ever do something and everything goes wrong, like catch you on the blind side, hold your head up. It's not over. Goethe said, that which does not kill you will make you stronger. Hold your head up. Shake someone's hand on your right and left and say, hold your head up.
Hold your head up. Hold your head up. Remember that. Hold your
Here's
head
something else, ladies and gentlemen. Repeat after me, please. You got to be hungry.
Yeah.
Everybody together, you got to be hungry.
Hungry.
I'll never forget Mr. Washington said, Mr. Brown, yes, sir. What do you want to do with your life, young man? I said, sir, I want to be a disc jockey. He said, Mr. Brown. I said, yes, sir. He said, you got to be hungry. I said, what do you mean by that? He said, people that are hungry are willing to do the things today others won't do in order to have the things tomorrow others won't have. People that are hungry are willing to invest in themselves. People that are hungry will go to seminars and workshops. People that are hungry are always searching, always seeking higher ground. So how do you want to make it? I said, I want to be a disc jockey. He says, good. Here's what to do. He said, I want you to read 10 to 15 pages of something positive every day. He said, you don't get in life what you want, you get in life what you are. You must program yourself to success. He said, I want you to listen to Earl Nightingale and Zig Ziglar. Listen, faith comes by hearing and hearing and hearing. He said, I want you to change your relationships, and I don't want you to ever lose your hunger. I said, what do you mean by that? He said, people that are hungry are unstoppable. People that are hungry are no matter what people. They make it happen no matter what. He said, I want you to listen to Paul Harvey. Who is he? He's the world's greatest communicator. Success leaves clues, young man. Always listen and follow people who are doing what it is you want to do at the level you want to do it, and learn from them. I told T. Hobb when we were standing by the stage, I said, hey, man, I want to work more with you. I want you to coach me. I want to learn from you. See, I found you're never too old to learn, and you're never too young to teach. Always have a thirst for learning. So I listened to Paul Harvey every day on the radio. While in school, I would go out and listen in his car. He gave me his keys. I was working to develop myself. And I continued to listen to motivational messages, and he would take me to see the late Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, who wrote the book, The Power of Positive Thinking. I toured with him before he passed. You have something special. You have greatness within you. Don't allow your circumstances to determine who you are. Don't allow your negative thoughts to hold you back. You have something special. You can do more than you can ever begin to imagine. Dr. Peel was an incredible man. I admired him when he spoke. He gave me goosebumps. I can feel him in my heart. And I never forget, we were coming back to the school, and Mr. Washington said, Mr. Brown, yes, sir. When Dr. Peel spoke, you didn't move. When he spoke, you were hanging on every word. When he spoke, we didn't have to tell you to sit down and be quiet. Why? I said, sir, I could feel him when he talked. I felt like he was talking to me, sir. He said, he was. I said, but he doesn't know me, but he was speaking to you. Did you feel him in your heart? I said, yes, sir. He said, most people feel him in their head. If you felt him in your heart, he said, listen to him, sir. Follow him, learn from him. And I would go to seminars and workshops. Anywhere I would find where Dr. Peel was, I would be in the audience. I would drive 200 and 300 miles just to hear him speak. And my dream and vision was to share the stage with him. I thought about it. What is your goal? What is your vision? I want you to hold it in mind. There's some power in that. Because when I became involved in speaking, I never forget, I got a call from Og Mandino, who wrote the book, The Greatest Salesman in the World. He said, Les, I'm stuck in Philadelphia. I need to be in Kankakee. Dr. Norman Vincent Peale is appearing. I can't make it. I heard you're in Chicago. I said, yes, I am. Can you go and open for me? I said, yes, man. Oh, my God. Dr. Peale, I said, yes, I'd love to do it. And I went there and I came. I said, hi, I'm Les Brown. He said, you're not the band renowned? I said, no, I'm Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy. I'm here to speak. He said, come backstage. And his wife, Martha, was there. And she said, Papa, Les Brown is here, the speaker. And he said, Les Brown, shoot for the moon. Because even if you miss, you'll land among the stars. I said, sir, that's my quote. I wrote you when I was in the 11th grade. I was a part of a special education class project. That's my quote. He said, I know. I end all my speeches with that quote. And Dr. Peel had a great sense of humor. The young man was backstage, and I had so many questions to ask him, and my mind froze up, and the young guy said, Dr. Peel, how old are you? And he was up in age. He said, Sonny, I'm 92. Young man looked at him and said, I don't know if I want to live to get 92. He said, that's because you've never been 91. So I did the things that Mr. Washington suggested. I listened to motivational tapes on a regular basis. I would go to seminars and workshops whenever Zig Ziglar and Dr. Dennis Waitley and Jim Rohn would come to town. And I said, sir, what do you want me to do now? He said, Mr. Brown, I've given you everything that I can give you. He said, develop your mind, put your money where your mouth is, continue to learn how to be an effective communicator, because once you open your mouth, you tell the world who you are. And always surround yourself with OQP, only quality people. So I went to apply for a job on Miami Beach. WMBM radio station. Milton Butterball Smith was the program director. Hello, Mr. Butterball. How are you, sir? My name is Les Brown, sir. I'd like to be a disc jockey. He said, young man, you have any journalism in your background? I said, well, no, sir, I don't. You have any experience in broadcasting? I said, no, sir, but I practice all the time, sir. Let me audition for you, sir. Let me show you how good I am. All I need is a shot, sir. He says, no, we don't have any job for you. How many ever been rejected? Raise your hands, please. I was devastated. I went back and I told Mr. Washington, I said, Mr. Washington, they said no. He said, don't take it personally. Most people are so negative, they have to say no 7 times before they say yes. He said, you got to be hungry. Know your vitamin. Go back again. I said, yes, sir. Hello, Mr. Butterball. How are you, sir? My name is Les Brown, sir. I like to be a disc jockey. Young man, weren't you here yesterday? Yes, sir, I was. Didn't I tell you no yesterday? Yes, sir, you did. Then why are you back today? Well, sir, I didn't know whether or not somebody was laid off or somebody was fired, sir. Nobody was laid off or fired. Now, get on out of here. I came back the next day. Hello, Mr. Butterball. How are you, sir? My name is Les Brown, sir. I like to be a disc jockey. I know what your name is. Weren't you here the last 2 days? Yes, sir, I was. Didn't I tell you no the last 2 days? Yes, sir, you did. Why are you back? Oh, sir, I didn't know whether or not someone got sick or someone died, sir. No one got sick or died. No one was laid off a fire. Now, don't you come back here again. I came back the next day talking loud, looking happy like I was seeing him for the first time. I said, hello, Mr. Vitafell, how are you? He looked at me with rage. He says, go get me some coffee. I said, yes, sir. My favorite book says, the greatest among you will be your servant. How many of you are serious about your goals and dreams? Raise your hands. Very good. Write this down. Provide more service than you get paid for. Provide more service than you get paid for. I go to a lot of seminars and workshops. And one of the things I know about T. Harv Eker, when I was sitting in the class with Robert Ruppel and all of the other presenters, they hold themselves to high standards, and they provide more information than anybody else in the industry, bar none. They hold nothing back because their commitment is for your success. And when you hold yourself to high standards, write this down, impact drives income. That's why you're here. Because the training, the seminars, been making a difference in your life. If they did not have impact, 200 or 300 people would be here, if that amount. Impact drives income. So I became the errand boy for the disc jockeys. I would go get their lunch and their dinner, and I would bring it to them in the control room, and I'd watch them working the control boards, knowing my time will come. Write this down. I expect to reach my goal.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Please.
Yes, you want to operate with a spirit of expectation. I expect to reach my goal.
It's all appreciated.
So I started preparing for the next position. Never forget one quote that I heard. As you look at your life, you look at your goals and dreams. It's better to be prepared for an opportunity and not have one than to have an opportunity and not be prepared. If you expect to reach your goal, prepare yourself now. And so then pretty soon, the guys at the station, they begin to take a liking to me. Write this down. Build relationships. As you're aware, people deal with people that they know, like, and trust. And so they would say, Leslie, yes, sir. Come here, yes. Come outside. Who did this? Oh, your car? Yes. Who cleaned my car? I did, sir. I would wax their cars on the weekend, inside and out. How much do you charge? Oh, nothing, sir. I just wanted to help out. I was providing more service than I got paid for. I was building relationships. They said, whoa, look here. Donna Ross and the Supremes are coming to town. The Four Tops and the Temptations. Here are my car keys. Pick them up for me. Take them to the Fontainebleau Hotel on Miami Beach. I said, yes, sir. I would drive them all over Miami Beach in their big, long Cadillacs. I didn't have any driver's license, but I was driving like I had some. Then one day, it was a Saturday afternoon. A disc jockey by the name of Rockin' Roger was drinking while he was on the air. It was a Saturday afternoon, and I was the only one there. Rockin' Roger got so drunk, he could not complete the show. He started slurring his words. He's about to fall off the chair. And there I was, looking at him through the control room window, walking back and forth, young, ready, and hungry.
Hungry.
I was saying, drink, Rock, drink. Drink, Rock. I'd have gone and get him some more if he'd asked me to. Then pretty soon the phone rang. It was the general manager, and I answered the phone. I said, hello? He said, young boy, this is Mr. Klein. I said, I know. He said, Rock can't finish his program. I said, I know. He said, would you call one of the other DJs in? I said, yes, sir. I said to myself, he must think I'm crazy. I called my mom and my girlfriend, Cassandra. I said, y'all come out on the front porch and turn up the radio. I'm about to come on the air.
That's how I'm feeling right now.
I waited for about 20 minutes, and I called him back. I said, Mr. Klein, I can't find nobody. He said, young boy, you know how to work the controls? I said, yes, sir. He said, go in there and segue the record, but don't say nothing here. I said, yes, sir. I couldn't wait to get old Rock out of the way. I put on a fast record. I said, look out, this is me, LV Triple P, Les Brown, your platter playing papa. There were none before me, and there will be none after me. Therefore, that makes me the one and only. Young and single and love to mingle, certified, bona fide, indubitably qualified to bring you satisfaction and a whole lot of action. Look out, baby, I'm your lap man. I was hungry. I was hungry. Get old man a round of applause. I was hungry.
I'm hungry.
I was hungry.
Hungry now.
You got to be hungry.
Hungry.
Shake someone's hand on your right and left all around you and say, you got to be hungry.
I wanted this.
You got to be hungry.
I wanted to do something, so I went for it.
To get those dreams out of your head and step into your greatness, you got to be hungry. To get those ideas, that talent, that gift out of your system, you got to be hungry. To get up off the canvas of life and understand what Willie Jolly meant, that a setback is a setup for a comeback.
Oof.
You got to be hungry.
Got to be hungry.
People that are hungry are willing to do the things today others won't do in order to have the things tomorrow others won't have. How many of you got value out of what you've heard thus far? Raise your hands, please.
Raise your hand. Raise your hand if you got some value.
I'd like to leave this with you. I don't know what your goals are. I don't know what you want to do. Here's what I know about you. You have greatness within you. Here's what I know about you. I can help you to live full and to die empty. I can show you what I've learned. If anybody told me that I would be doing what I'm doing now, I'd leave here today, I'd go to New Orleans and speak there, then I'll be flown to Barcelona. If anybody told me, given my circumstances, born in an abandoned building on a poor section of Miami, Florida, called Liberty City, both my birth parents stood up and said, hello, son, I would not know either one. Being labeled educable mentally retarded, put back from the 5th grade to the 4th grade, failed again when I was in the 8th grade, no college training. Anybody told me the principles that I would teach you, that they would have the impact that it has had on my life. This Les Brown that you see, I did not know he existed. And I tell you that you have greatness within you. You have the ability to do more than you can ever begin to imagine. Come into the room with me. I guarantee you your life will never be the same again. I like to leave this with you. I don't know what your goals are. Mine is to find a cure to autism. Mine is to find a cure to breast cancer and to prostate cancer. Mine is to work with our youth and to reduce the recidivism rate in our prisons and help young people learn how to become an asset to our society rather than a liability. Mine is to train speakers to become great communicators, to speak from their heart, not their heads, and teach them how to impact and create a new conversation so people can see the possibilities of life and overcome the possibility blindness that held me hostage for 14 years. I don't know what your goals are, but here's what I know about you, and I don't know you. You've got greatness within you. And I like to leave this with you, something my mother used to love to hear me say. Leslie, yes, ma'am, mama. Say that thing for me, boy, that makes me feel good. I dedicate this to you, to the greatness in you, and to the dream that you showed up on the planet to produce. And it's simply this. If you want a thing bad enough to go out and fight for it, to work day and night for it, to give up your time, your peace, and your sleep for it, if all that you dream and scheme is about it, and life seems useless and worthless without it, and if you gladly sweat for it and fret for it and plan for it, and lose all your terror of the opposition for it, and if you simply go after that thing that you want with all of your capacity, strength and sagacity, faith, hope, and confidence, and stern pertinacity.
Yes, absolutely. Amen.
Thank you for listening.
Yes.
Continue strengthening your mind by subscribing and listening to our other episodes.
Yes, that was Les Brown. Lose it all, lose everything, but just don't lose yourself. I think that was dope. And I appreciate all y'all for listening and tapping in with me. I'm definitely about to shift gears for a little bit. And I'm gonna go switch gears and I'm about to go and stream up. But definitely I'm gonna stream on consoles is what I'm saying. Gotta tap on the other side. But yes, I appreciate everybody for tapping in with me and sharing, allowing me to share my message and my life with you. And I'm hoping that you got something from, not even from myself or from the audio from Les Brown, in some way, somehow that inspire you to live a better tomorrow. And like I like to say, learn to talk to yourself better because your inner voice is always listening. All right? I'm King Sam I Am, a.k.a. Stephen A. Malone. Follow my YouTube channel at Conversation Within Us. Please subscribe, like, comment. Let me get to know you as you get to know me, and let's make this a journey. All right? Till next time. Peace.